Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for joining us today. My name is Fatin Al-Shazli. I'm the incoming chair of the board of the Halifax Chamber of Commerce and the principal and chief creative officer of We As Them. I would like to start by acknowledging that I'm speaking from Chibuktuk in Mi'kma'ki, the ancestral and unceded lands of the Mi'kmaq people. I recognized my duty as a settler to dismantle colonialism in my community and will work to understand and promote the Truth and Reconciliation Report recommendations. I'm looking forward to today's conversations and learning more about the Moose Hide campaign. The Moose Hide campaign is a grassroots, Indigenous-led reconciliation movement in its 11th year now, aimed at educating Indigenous and non-Indigenous men and boys about violence against women and girls. Its aim is to broaden awareness so that Canadians across the country can participate in the goal of ending gender-based violence, learn more about it, and get more involved. Today, we will hear from two members of the campaign who will walk us through how we can get involved in this very important movement. It is now my pleasure to introduce Gary Snow and Post Hartman of the Moose Hide campaign to lead us through this. Welcome, folks, and please go ahead.
Thank you so much for having us today. Gary, would you like to start with an introduction?
Sure. Thanks, Rosie. First of all, very much appreciate the opportunity to speak with you today and for the Halifax Chamber to learn a little bit more about the Moose Hide campaign. So thank you very much, first of all. I'm coming to you from Calgary, Alberta and Blackfoot Traditional Territory, and I'm a Métis of a Nation of Alberta member, and grew up in the Tanaka Traditional Territory in BC. And you know, that's a key important piece of the Moose Hide campaign is that you know, we're an Indigenous organization, and that it's a really grassroots movement, and it's a really good opportunity for reconciliation across Canada, which we will speak to later on. But I just wanted to say, you know, thank you for joining us today, and I'll pass it over to Rosie for her introduction.
Hi, folks. Thank you so much for having us today. Good morning for me, good afternoon for you. My name is Rosie Hartman. I am Cree on my father's side from the Satellite Cree Nation up in northeastern Alberta, and Scottish on my mom's side. I live in beautiful Lekwungen-speaking People's Territory in Victoria, BC, so the very opposite coast from you folks. But I have a special place. I have to shout out to the East Coast. I went to school out east and I love it there. I miss the East Coast. So it's really wonderful to have the opportunity this morning to speak with all of you. I am the Director of Operations for the Moose Hide campaign. I work really closely with our team across all of our projects. And apologies for the last minute change in speakers. David, our CEO, and Sage, our national ambassador, really hope to be with you today. But Gary and I are very happy to jump in and share more about the campaign, how you can engage in the campaign, and about the work that we do. So yeah, we'll get right into it. And I think the chat is being moderated. So I think if there's any questions, we'll maybe let our host bring those questions forward. So I'll just pop forward in our slides here and share a little bit more about the background story of the campaign. So the campaign was started by a father and daughter, Paul and Raven Lessert. That's them together in the photo there. Paul and Raven are both Carrier, that's their Indigenous ancestry, and they are from, their traditional territory is in northern BC, and right through their traditional territory runs the Highway of Tears, which you are potentially familiar with. It's a stretch of highway that runs through northern BC that has a really disproportionate number of missing and murdered Indigenous women. And you know, for Paul and Raven, Paul is a father of 4 daughters. He knew how important it was to stand up for the safety of his daughters, protect his daughters and other women. And so in 2011, when Raven was just 16 years old, they were on a hunting trip in their traditional territory. They are both hunters, and going out and hunting moose is a part of their yearly process to provide food for their family. And so they were out hunting and, you know, talking about where they were. The hunting road that they were on was just off the Highway of Tears, talking about the history of that highway, talking about the history of violence against women and children, and especially Indigenous women and children. And they really wanted to do something. They wanted to try and make change, to try and put an end to that violence. And so they came up with the idea of the moose hide campaign. You can see I'm wearing a small square of moose hide here. So they came up with the idea. They took that moose home that they had harvested that year for their family. They took the moose hide, they tanned it up, and they cut it up into these small squares. And they started asking folks to wear a moose hide square as a symbol that you are standing up to protect the women and children in your life, that you are speaking out against violence, and that, you know, you're bringing awareness to the issue. We always say that violence thrives in the darkness. And so we see this little moose hide square as a way of shining light into the darkness and into the issue, and bringing the issue forward, and having it not be something that's tucked away or hidden, that it's something that we want to talk about, that we want to raise awareness about, and that we really want to take action on. And so when Paul and Raven started the campaign way back in 2011, it was very much a family enterprise. Raven and her sisters hand cut and hand wrote the cards for the first, I think, 25,000 moose hide squares. And since 2011, we've now distributed almost 3 million moose hide squares across the country. And we are so grateful for that level of engagement and participation in the campaign. And we really now are seeing communities and you know, K-12 schools and post-secondary institutions and governments and businesses, and, you know, really folks across all sectors in the country joining the campaign, wearing their moose hide squares, hosting moose hide campaign events, and you know, really standing up to speak out against the issue. And so we really see the impact that this little square can have. And you know, a big part of the work that we do is Moose Hide Campaign Day. We'll talk about that a little bit more down the slide deck. It's a large gathering that we host every year. It's coming up soon in May. And yeah, so, you know, we really see the campaign as an opportunity for folks to engage in the issue of gender-based violence, join an Indigenous-led movement, take steps towards reconciliation. It's a campaign that everyone is invited to be a part of, and we're really, you know, wanting to make as much traction on the issue as possible, and raise awareness and bring folks in. And so that's a little bit about how the campaign started, and, you know, the work that we've done to get us to where we are now. And this next video here, so this is just a little bit more about the campaign. So you'll be able to see Paul and Raven, our co-founders, as well as David, our CEO, and other members of our Moose Hide family. We were able to make this video last summer when we were up on Paul and Raven's traditional territory. And we really like to show this video because it's kind of a short capture of who we are and the work that we do. And it's a great resource as well for folks to share if they want to, you know, after the fact, you know, go and talk about campaign in their networks and in their communities. This is an awesome video to share. So I'll just hit play here, and hopefully it works. And if it doesn't, maybe Gary or someone can just jump in and let me know.
One simple idea from a father and daughter has grown into a movement that is capturing the hearts of Canadians.
Violence against women and children in Canada is still far too common, and it's more likely to affect those of us who are Indigenous, especially our Indigenous women and children. On our streets, in our universities, in our workplaces, we see it everywhere. I did not want to see my daughters grow up in a world where this is still happening.
While hunting together on our traditional territory near the Highway of Tears, where many Indigenous women have been murdered or gone missing, we felt moved to take action together. And it all starts with this pin. It's a symbol of commitment, of solidarity. We've now distributed millions of them to communities across the nation. Each one is starting conversations that bring us closer to putting an end to this violence.
We're in schools, we're in universities, helping to make those spaces safer and embedding anti-violence into the curriculum.
The gatherings are an opportunity to come together in ceremony, inviting all Canadians to take a stand to end domestic and gender-based violence. They're an opportunity to inspire each other and to give each other the energy to keep going.
We are a grassroots movement of men and boys with one shared vision. A society where women and children are free of all forms of violence, where Indigenous women and children are not found murdered or go missing along the Highway of Tears or along any road in this country.
We want to get to a place where we've given out 10 million moose hide pins, and on one day have 1 million Canadians fasting together in ceremony to end violence against women and children. Will you join us?
That was just a little bit about who we are and the work that we do, and also, a nice opportunity to see our co-founders there and our other Moosehide family. So, like I mentioned previously, the big gathering that we have coming up is Moosehide Campaign Day. It's taking place on May 12th this year. Traditionally, it has always been a February event. So if you may have heard of Moosehide Campaign Day in the past, and you know that usually it always happens in February. We made the really difficult decision this year to move the date because of the severity of the Omicron wave that was happening right in February, right when the event's going to happen. But we're excited, for the opportunity to have the event in May and have even more folks join us on the day. And so what I wanted to do now is just walk you through a little bit more about what Moosehide Campaign Day will look like, the kind of opportunities that exist for you folks to join the day, and a little bit of information about how to engage. So Moosehide Campaign Day will be a virtual gathering. Last year was our first ever virtual gathering because of COVID. And I will say that one of the huge opportunities that being virtual presented for us was the opportunity to really bring folks into the day from coast to coast to coast. In our 2020 gathering, which is in Victoria, we had about 1,000 folks join us. Last year, we had 86,000 folks register to join us for the day. This year, we already have over 250,000 folks registered to join us. And so we are so excited and grateful for that level of engagement, and just know how powerful it'll be on the day to have all those folks with us. So a little bit about what to expect for Moosehide Campaign Day. A key element for the campaign and the work that we do is a one-day fast. It's a ceremonial element. It's sunrise to sunset, and it's a way we see for folks to deepen their commitment to the issue and just go through just a little small piece of personal challenge to really kind of think more about the issue and deepen into it. And so that's a fast, traditionally no food, no water from daybreak to sunset. And we have many folks that join that fast with us. And so because it's a national event and we have folks joining us from across the country, we'll start our daybreak ceremony out east with you folks. So when the sun hits the east coast of Turtle Island, which is what we call North America, when the sun hits the east coast of Turtle Island, 5:28 a.m. Newfoundland Standard Time, we will have a daybreak ceremony ceremony conducted by elders on the East Coast, and that'll be live streamed. So you'll be able to, if you'd like to start the day in that ceremony, join the live stream at that time. And the live stream for folks, I know you folks are out east, so this makes sense for you. Once that ceremony goes live, it'll be up and available on our event website. All of the day will be broadcast to our event website, so that's where you'll watch the full stream. So folks will be able to, as they wake up across the country, log into our event website and watch the daybreak ceremony and start their fast in that way. We then have our morning plenary. So that's 8:30 our time, which is, I think 11:30 or 12:30 your time. I'm terrible at math, sorry. I think 12:30 your time, we'll have our morning plenary. So that's just over an hour of traditional welcomes and opening protocols, remarks from our co-founders, our keynote speakers. We are really excited and really fortunate this year to have some incredible keynote speakers. So the Governor General, Her Excellency Mary Simon, will be providing a keynote address, as will the Honorable Murray Sinclair. So two really incredible individuals to be able to join us for the day and offer those remarks. So we're so excited for that, as well as remarks from Paul and Raven, of course. And again, all of that will be live streamed. It'll be available as of 8:30 a.m. PST. Once the plenary has happened, it'll again remain live on our website. So if you're not able to log in at 12:30 your time and watch it, you can always come back later in the day to watch those keynotes. And all of the videos also are recorded and available after the event. So if you're not able to join the day at all, you can of course access it after the fact. We then have a short break and then move into our workshop sessions. Our workshops are an hour and a half in length. They are really incredible learning opportunities, something that we've seen a lot of folks do in governments and businesses for their employees who are joining the day. They actually, see the day as a day for professional development and learning. In British Columbia, where we are, we're really engaged with the BC Public Service. And so for folks in the BC Public Service, they can actually register through their professional development system and take the full day as a day of professional development and learning. And those workshops are a really key part of that learning process. We have some amazing elders and knowledge keepers and other facilitators who will be able to offer those workshops. Pre-registration, this is just a little pitch. If you register for the day now, workshop pre-registration is also open, so you can see what kind of workshops we have to offer and select the one of your choice. All of the workshops will be virtual and on Zoom, but they will be really engaging, and so lots of opportunity for dialogue with facilitators, lots of breakout groups, so dialogue with other folks. Something that was really amazing last year, we had folks in workshops from across the country, and so there were opportunities for folks from BC and Saskatchewan and Nunavut and Halifax to be in circle together and connecting. And so, yeah, a really cool opportunity. After the workshops, we have a short break, and then we have our walk to end violence against women and children. That walk will be happening in person in Victoria, but it'll also be live streamed. And after the walk, we'll have some really amazing speakers. And so again, an opportunity to hear from speakers and to join the walk virtually. A note on that, something that we've seen a lot of communities doing from across the country is hosting their own walks. And so there's an opportunity there to do something in your own community on the day. And at the end of the day, when sun sets on the West Coast here at 8:43 p.m. our time, which is very late for you folks, we'll have our fast breaking ceremony. And again, that'll be live streamed. One of the notes that we always like to share with folks who are in eastern parts of the country, is that we will also have a pre-recorded fast breaking ceremony, and that'll also be available on our event website. So we certainly don't expect folks who are fasting for the day on the East Coast to stay up until 8:43 our time to break your fast. So you'll be able to participate in or view a fast breaking ceremony that'll be available at sunset out east. So there's that timing there. And so one of the things I'll also say about the day, you know, for folks, some of them like to log in and view the day. Some folks will host their own events and watch the plenary or watch the live stream as a part of their own event. So there's lots of opportunities to kind of engage in this. And again, like I mentioned, all of this will be recorded. And so for folks that aren't able to watch or participate on the day, they can certainly participate after. And another note that I wanted to share that's not on the agenda here, for any of you that have children that are in the K-12 school system or work within the K-12 school system or have an interest in that system, we are going to have a really engaging youth plenary as well. And that's a separate live stream. That'll be happening from 9:30 to 10:30 BC time. And so if folks want to register or learn more about the youth plenary, when you go to our website, and we'll share the link shortly, you'll see that you can sign up for all of the youth kind of activities, and it's actually a whole separate youth stream. So lots of opportunities to engage on the youth side as well. So that's a little bit more about the day. I'll just click through to our next slide. So how can you join us as a part of the Moose Hide campaign family and participate in the campaign? We like to offer as many options as possible. We like to make it as easy for folks as possible to join us. So I'll kind of go through some options here. Option one, of course, number one thing that we always promote is to order your Moose Hide pins, wear them, share them. They are really easy to order. We've got a link on our website. If you go right to our homepage, you'll see there's a big order pins button. You can order them there. We offer, of course, pins that are made out of moose hide, so leather. We also have a synthetic version for folks who wouldn't like to wear leather. And when you're placing your order, you can indicate how many pins you'd like, how many leather, how many non-leather. And you know, you can really order pins in whatever size or quantity makes sense to you. You know, we have some folks who order 5 pins and that's just for their immediate family. And we have some folks who order 5,000 pins because they're ordering pins for an entire school district or an entire workforce. And so we're certainly flexible and open to all sizes of orders. A forever promise that we've made for the Moose Hide pins is that they will always be free, including shipping. So there's no charge to order them. We just want to be able to share these pins out as far as possible. The second way to join us, of course, register to take part in Moose Hide Campaign Day. Again, on our website, you'll see there's a very clear link to register there. I would encourage folks to register as soon as possible. It means that you kind of get your first access point to all the information. We send out really frequent registration updates. And so folks will be able to see, for example, when workshop registration is open, you can now go and view the workshop choices. We'll be launching our event website very soon. So not only will you be able to view the videos, the live stream on the day on the website, there's also lots of really great content that you can have a look at ahead of time. We've got wonderful videos from elders talking about ceremonial practices, talking about fasting, lots of really great resources. So yeah, lots there for you to share. I just see there's a little Q&A piece here. So I'm not sure, maybe the moderator can jump in and let me know. Should I pause and answer questions or should we answer questions at the end? Is there a preference? I'm happy to do either.
Up to you. We can address some of these questions now if you'd like.
Sure, maybe I'll go down to the end to 7 there and then I'll jump into the questions.
Perfect.
So the next opportunity to join us for the one-day fast, and I see there's a question here about the significance of fasting, so I can address it there. A fasting ceremony is a powerful Indigenous ceremony. Many Indigenous nations across the country participate in ceremonial fasts. Traditionally, they are usually 4 days of fasting. For us as a part of the campaign, we have a one-day fast, and it's a way to deepen your commitment, to test your resolve to feel just a little bit of suffering, you know, as a part of the day, and as a part of your recognition of the issue of violence, and kind of the connection back to it. And so our fasting guide that we've linked there has a lot of great resources about fasting, a lot of kind of background information. And we always say for the fast, absolutely, we would love for folks to join us for that. But to do it with your health as the top priority. And so if that means that you fast for a shorter period of time, or if you have a little bit of water or a little bit of juice or a little bit of food, you know, whatever makes sense for you health-wise, to engage in that.
I should
the next,
maybe jump in and just say
yes.
that a common question is, do women fast as well? Like it comes up an awful lot, and it's wide open to anybody that chooses to fast. So it's not, you know, just for men. It's for anybody that sees value in bringing that cultural piece and spiritual piece to the fast, to the event, and fasting is an opportunity to do that.
Thanks, Gary. And I see, you know, this is great. Our list here lines up really nicely with the questions. So the next question, can I host something for Moose High Campaign Day at my workplace? Absolutely. We always encourage folks to organize their own, you know, COVID-safe Moose High Campaign events with your colleagues. Gary is going to talk a little bit more about our communications assets on the next slide. We have lots of really easy plug and play resources for folks. So how to organize your own event, how to organize a Moose High Campaign walk in your community, how to engage your organization in the campaign. And so we have lots of resources there that we can provide. Common things that we see for organizations engaging in the day. We see lots of kiosks. And so that is, you know, somebody who decides to set up a kiosk or a table, often, you know, in the lobby of their building or in a common space within their workplace. You can order some moose hide pins. Moose hide pins always come attached. I'm trying to see if I have one on my desk here. The pins come with a small card, which has all of the information about the campaign, how to order more pins, our social media links. And so the pin comes attached to the card like that. And so when you're handing out Moose Hide pins, everyone will get kind of a little primer on what the campaign is about. So yes, kiosks are very very popular. We also see lots of folks who organize kind of viewing parties, for lack of a better word. So, you know, they'll gather folks in their boardroom and watch the live stream together. We see folks hosting walks in their communities. Something that we really are always so inspired and grateful to see is a lot of collaboration as well in community. And so, you know, the local RCMP unit will work with the local K-12 school, who will work with the local nation, who will work with, you know, the local businesses, and they'll put on an event together. And so it's really an opportunity to bring your community together, to connect, and to kind of make a community commitment on the issue. And so we really, really welcome any kind of gatherings or hosting. And again, our resources on our site have lots of info there, and we always encourage folks to reach out to us after as well. If you have any questions about events or coordination or organizing, we're always here to support and help. Another option or another opportunity to engage and participate in the campaign is taking our online pledge to stand up against violence. We see a lot of folks doing that as well, you know, making a personal statement and a personal commitment to stand up and say, you know, I'm not okay with violence. I'm not okay with this happening in my community, and I'm lending my voice to the issue. I'm raising my voice, putting myself out there to say that I stand against this. And so lots of opportunities there with the pledge. Another thing that we always encourage, you know, not only do you order, wear, and share your pins, but in this world of virtual Zoom meetings, we always encourage folks to wear your Moose Hide pin when you're online. We also have some really great virtual backgrounds. I think you probably see mine right now. Again, Gary will talk through more of our comms assets, but yeah. And also, you know, something that we see lots of folks do, especially in a workplace where you've got an internal intranet site or, you know, newsletters. to encourage folks to write a blog post or an article about, why you're engaging in the campaign or what the campaign is about, or a promotion that Moose High Campaign Day is coming up. So yeah, lots of opportunities there. Okay, and Gary, I'll hand it over to you. Gary is our Director of Communications. It has all of our comms assets, and so Gary, if you just want to walk through, what's available, what we have on the social media side, you can share some of that info.
Sure, thank you. As Rosie mentioned, we do have a lot of assets that are kind of plug and play. We wanted to make this as easy as possible to participate in leading up to the campaign and on campaign day. So as Rosie mentioned, and you see behind me, we have virtual backgrounds that you can download and place on your Zoom or team meeting. So we always appreciate that. We also have a social media playbook, which has a whole bunch of posts that you can just kind of copy, cut and paste, as well as customize to kind of your own personalized message with a whole bunch of different images that you can kind of choose from and download and share. And part of that is also too going, back to the pledge, social media today being what it is, like it's a really good opportunity for the Moose Hide campaign to broaden its message and reach more people. So one of the things that the pledge can do is, yes, we'll gladly take a pledge that you want to share with us on our website, but on social media, like and tagging us and sharing your story, whether it's on TikTok or Instagram or Twitter, just to go, this is why I'm doing it. This is what it means to me. And, tagging us and sharing your experiences of why you're participating, that means an awful lot. And your audience can help us grow the message and achieve our goals as far as, ending violence towards women and children in Canada. So the social media has become, a key element in our movement and our initiative to end violence towards women and children in Canada. So if you go to our website, you'll see that there's a link to this digital assets management system that you can download all the tools, whether the social media or virtual background, as well as campaign day documents. And I know we're, speaking at a pretty high level here of, fasting and the importance of it, but we do have, some more in-depth documents to kind of provide a better context of, why certain things are taking place. There's FAQs, there's some guidance on, hey, if you're going to do a kiosk, here's some things that you might want to consider. If you're hosting an event or a walk, here's some elements or pieces that you can speak to, as well as, just all kinds of different tools and background and the history of the Moose Hide campaign. So we encourage you to, go to our website, order a free pin, and that's a good first step. There's also, if we're getting closer to a campaign day on May the 12th, if you can't get the pins in time, there's also some signs that you can print out and just hold them up as part of your pledge. So if you can't get the pins in time, there's still opportunities to talk to the campaign. And I think, like, for the most part, we just very much encourage you to see what assets are there. And sometimes if you have an idea, we are more than happy to kind of take that idea and run with it, because there's a lot of creativity out there. And when we see something that could work, we're more than happy to kind of amplify your voice. And we absolutely love it when people post on like Instagram stories of themselves wearing the pin. We'll definitely want to amplify your message. So we are super appreciative when people share their stories, and it doesn't have to be just on campaign day. It can be like the lead up to campaign day, because we are very much interested in getting more people registered. So the sooner the better.
Thanks, Gary. Yeah, also one other piece maybe we didn't mention, Gary's signature blocks. We also have really nice little signature blocks that you can pop into your signature for your emails. I just put our website into the chat there. I think that there may also be an opportunity for us to send some follow-up information after. Sandra, I'll connect with you and see if we can share that out with participants. so that you have really easy access to all of our links and resources here. And I see that we've got a question in the chat here. I'm just moving it up. So thank you for the information shared, elders from every province participating. Yeah, so one of the amazing things that we're so grateful about with the campaign is really it's a grassroots movement. And so when Paul and Raven started it in BC, we wanted to, invite anyone from any corner of the country to join us. And so, we've now seen folks from all sectors, including, of course, many Indigenous communities and organizations join us. And so, our team, our Moosehide core team is small in BC, but certainly we have folks across the country planning events and organizing and coordinating days. And so I don't know that I could officially say, 100% yes for elders from every province and territory, but certainly, and looking at who's ordering our Moosehide pins and who's registering for the day, many Indigenous communities from every corner of the country. And reaching out to Nova Scotia MP Batiste, so one of the things that we always do is extend invitations for the day to as many folks as possible. And so we've, extended invitations to all of the MPs across the country. And so certainly MP Batiste would have been, invited to join us for the day. And we see lots of federal MPs who always join us. They wear their Moosehide pins on the floor and, register to join for the day. We also see lots of participation from provincial governments. I will say, you're in Halifax. We've been really grateful and honored to see the level of engagement from the province of Nova Scotia over the last few years. Lots of registration and participation from K-12 schools. Lots of participation from the provincial government. Last year, we worked directly with several different ministries in the provincial government to join us for the day. We always absolutely encourage folks to connect with the Indigenous people in your traditional territory that you're in, to work with those folks, like you said, build off of their lead. We always want to ensure that you're working with folks who are from the territory where you are. That's something that we really always encourage. You'll see in our kind of how-to guides. A good first step is always to reach out to folks who are in your territory and in your region, and want to work with them. So I think that brings us to the end of our slide deck, and so I will stop my sharing now so that I can see folks again. There we go. And I think just offer up any opportunity for questions. If there's anything you'd like to know a little bit more about, we're happy to answer.
I see the one question about are the pins real moose hide and what do they signify?
Gotcha.
So,
thank you.
So yes, they are real moose hide, and they're tanned and then cut. And we have an incredible team in Victoria that gets moose hide from moose that are often, correct me if I'm wrong, Rosie, I think usually they're like traffic incidents and that kind of thing. So it's not necessarily hunted moose, but there's also Naga hide versions if people choose to have a Naga hide version as well. And I guess I'll just say that the moose hide is considered good medicine. It's the moose has sacrificed itself and it provided a piece of itself to provide good medicine for a social ailment that is in our communities, and so it's seen as an opportunity to wear a piece of medicine to solve this problem that's facing us.
Thanks, Gary. Yeah, the moose always, we source them from tanneries, and so they come. They've either been, killed in a road accident or in a train, on a train accident, or somebody who's hunting food for their family and who brings the hide in. So we, no moose are ever killed to provide hides for us. Certainly, we source them from moose that have, unfortunately been killed in those kinds of accidents. Yeah, and like Gary mentioned, we have the Naga hide, which is like a vinyl version. So it looks just like a pin, but it's not leather for folks who choose to go that route. Oh, and I see another, this is another, oh, I think that's the same question there. Great.
Okay. I'll just wait like one more minute to see if there is any more questions from the audience.
Sure, maybe I'll make another pitch while people are thinking about more questions. Is once again, May the 12th is Moose Hide Campaign Day, and you know, probably a really good first step is to order a pin, and we do encourage you to order more pins than are necessary. And you know, we have some data to back up that each pin sparks 5 conversations. So even myself, like, I'll always carry some extra pins with me, and I get asked when I'm out and about, like, well, what is that? And then it's an opportunity for me to start a conversation. And with each pin sparking 5 conversations, and I hand off 1 pin, it's just able to spread across the country and spread the message of what we're trying to achieve here in the Moose Hide campaign. And so, you know, if you can, order extra and keep them handy, and take them to work and pass them out. And we really appreciate that, because that's how we're going to get our message out there. And you know, it's very much a cultural shift that we're trying to make happen here, and a cultural shift in all of Canada. And the only way that you can do that is to kind of address the issue. And going back to you know, the foundation of the Moose Hide campaign, there's a moment that Paul was at an event that was discussing, you know, domestic violence and violence towards women and children. And at this conference, I think like 95% of the people there were women. And he and some of the other men that were there kind of said, well, where are the men in the conversation? You know, if we're going to solve this, the men have to be part of the conversation. So it's a bit of a challenge to throw out there from the Moose Hide campaign that, you know, men can step into this space and take a lead in trying to solve this problem. So that's an opportunity that we hope the Moose Hide campaign can bring to people.
Thank you, Gary. Well, we have about 10 minutes, so if anything else that you would like to share with us, and I see like there is, okay. So if there's any other questions, if not, we can wrap up. Well, I guess I'll start by thanking Gary and Rosie so much for sharing the stories and the experience and all the information that you have shared with us today. I have learned a lot today, and I thank you for that. And everything you shared is absolutely valuable, and it's been a pleasure to be on the receiving end of this. This is a very important campaign and a very important conversation, and I'm very glad that you were here with us today. Again, as you folks have shared, and I'm sharing this one more time, if you want to learn more about the campaign or get involved with the Moose Hide campaign, please do visit their website, which Rosie put on the chat. It's moosehidecampaign.ca. The chamber as well has some more upcoming events. So please do check out our calendar at the Halifax Chamber of Commerce /events. With that, I will end the day today. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. Wailali yok. Thank you. Cheers.
Thank you for having me.
Jump in. I see one more question there in the question inbox.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So a question about our connection with the Native Women Association of Canada. Yeah, we're really fortunate to have a strong partnership with the Native Women's Association of Canada. We've signed a memorandum of understanding with them to work closely and to support each other in our initiatives. We were really grateful last year to have Lorraine Whitman, who is from the East Coast and who is the president of NWAC, join our day last year. And certainly, one of the things that we focus on is, being able to promote and share initiatives of other, partner organizations or like-minded organizations. And so, yeah, absolutely are grateful to have that partnership and connection with them, and to be able to work with them as well. Gary, wanted to...
No, I'll echo that too. Like we often try to amplify the message. We see their posts and we're more than happy to share them. Like they are a great ally in the same goal, and so very happy to be partnered with them.
Thanks, Gary.
Thank you both.
Okay. Thank you both, or thank you everyone so much for joining the presentation today. We are always really grateful for the opportunity to connect with folks and share the message of the Moose High campaign. And so I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, that it's not too cold and snowy. We have a colleague in PEI who said she got a lot of snow yesterday. So yeah, nothing like a spring snowstorm. Well, thank you everyone. We really, like Gary said, encourage you to register for Moose High Campaign Day, order Moose High pins, join us for the day.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.